Thanks for joining today. My name is Liz. I'm an art therapist, and I'm here to guide you on a creative journey today. All you'll need is some paper, coloured pencils or pens or paints, and a daffodil if you've got one. If you haven't, daffodils will appear on the screen, and of course I've got plenty here, as you can see. No shortage of daffodils. This workshop is part of the Echo Happiness Hub. Echo is a charity supporting children and young people with congenital heart disease and their families. Echo is there for families at every stage of their heart journey and provides practical information as well as opportunities to connect with other heart families. The Happiness Hub is all about bringing fun and distraction and learning to families while they have to stay at home during the pandemic, or they're in hospital while their child undergoes surgery or treatment or recovery. These workshops are hosted in partnership with our friends at King's College London. And in various workshops, we'll have some researchers joining us to hear more about their work. So you can find out more about how Echo can support you at echo-uk.org. So do visit the website. Okay, so today's workshop is really about engaging with signs of spring, literally coming to our senses, seeing and smelling and feeling and touching. In winter, we have a tendency, don't we, in every way to kind of curl or coil inwards like a bear hibernating. And I think probably during this lockdown winter of our discontent, that's been even more the case. We've been very detached from our physical environment, and our senses maybe have felt quite impoverished at times. So this is an example of how we can engage really simply with our outdoor environment and with our natural surroundings. So I invite you just to simply be in this moment as we share this sensory exploration together. We're really enriched in community, aren't we? We're made to be together, and it's a delight to be with you today and to teach and learn together, to enrich one another in this short time together. And so do share on the chat, say hi, where you're from. If you have any comments or thoughts or ideas as we go along, do share them, and also be mindful that everybody else is seeing and reading them as well. So it may be, as I'm saying, let's just simply be, that your brain and your body is really struggling with that you feel, I don't even know how to do that in this moment. My world is full of difficult things and heavy responsibilities and many tasks that I have to get through on a daily basis. And if that's you, and it will be a lot of us, just recognize that. Recognize, yeah, this is a tough time. Be kind to yourself in this moment and allow it to be what it can be. Don't be hard on yourself. So we're going to start with a really simple grounding exercise to help our bodies be present in this moment, to put aside the rest of the stuff of the day and to really be here together. So we're going to make like a different kind of spring, like the kind of spring that coils round when it's under pressure. That's how we can feel, isn't it? We can feel that we are coiled up during winter, or we're coiled up during lockdown. So we're going to deliberately uncoil right now. So make yourself as small as you can be, as you're comfortable being. So you might really tuck yourself up, tuck your knees up, tuck your feet in, tuck your head, your arms, your hands in, tense them up. However small you're comfortable being, let's just do that together. So tuck yourself right down. And feel the tension in your muscles. And then slowly just your head lift up and have a look around all the way one way and then all the way the other way. Feel your neck extend and then open your shoulders out a little bit. Give them space and then unfold your arms. Let them stretch out wide. Let your fingers and your hands stretch out as far as they can. Uncurl your knees and your legs and let them stretch out. Swirl your ankles around. Feels good, doesn't it? That stretch in muscles. Makes them feel awake. Sit in your chair, press your feet into the floor, and let's be really present in this moment. So we've woken our senses up a little bit, and now we're going to do a visualization together. Visualization is just really a storytelling. It's a storytelling. We generally close our eyes and relax and listen to a story, and we all know how to do that. Listen to the words of that story and let our imagination, let our wonderful brain inhabit the reality of that story and engage the whole of ourselves in the journey of that. And today that story, that visualization is really centered on daffodils. Surprise, surprise. I love daffodils. They're so hardy. They're so incredibly tough. They survive and grow during really tough conditions, ice and snow and really cold temperatures, and yet they continue to grow and to bloom. And there's such the little faces are so smiley, aren't they? They're so full of hope and energy somehow when we come upon them after a long winter. And so we're going to really embody that space of the daffodil today as we do this visualization. So sit back in your chair again and just relax. Allow your body just to be. Feel yourself in the chair. Just going to take a really deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we'll do one more. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And now if you feel comfortable, just gently close your eyes and continue to do that really soft, gentle breathing in and out. Put your hands really gently on your lap and just be in this space and get ready to listen to this journey of the daffodil growing. So we've got our eyes closed and we're breathing gently and relaxing. So the life of the daffodil starts way, way out of sight, deep down, far below the surface of the soil. It starts as this little, tiny, brown, not very good looking, a bit of an ugly duckling type of a bulb. And it's way, way down below the surface where no one can see it. Covered in dark soil, rich, damp soil, way below some of the really low temperatures. It's safe and sound down there. I wonder if you can smell the dampness of that soil as your clever brain helps you to connect with this. So this little bulb is down there and it's completely dark. There's no light getting to it. And then gradually water starts to trickle down and make its way to this thirsty bulb. And it starts to drink it in. And still it doesn't look promising. this brown little bulb tucked away out of sight, and yet it's full of potential. It's packed with all kinds of resources to help sustain it through the winter, through the hardest times. And then, as the temperature rises, as spring starts to spring, tiny roots appear. They feel their way out of the bulb and into that soil. And they start taking in the goodness of the place where that bulb has been planted, its surroundings. And at first they're really thread-like, just tiny, tiny. And then as they are nourished, they get bigger and they get stronger and they go further. And then as the temperature goes up, a shoot comes up from the top of the bulb and makes its way slowly through the soil, bravely through the soil, up to the surface. And it has to get through that carpet of musty leaves, last year's leaves, up through into the bright light of day. Onwards and upwards, that stalk that is so strong goes up and up and up, and then starts to form the bud of all of that potential. And when it's ready, it starts to come out of that cocoon. It starts to open up its leaves, starts to open up its petals further and further. And if it's a warm day, that process happens really quickly. If it's a cold spell, then it will just take its time. It will wait for the right moment and go at its own pace. And then in a burst of sunshine, it opens out, and that beautiful trumpet in the middle that heralds the start of spring comes forward, and all of the petals are like a crown or a star around it in that vibrant yellow, full of energy. And it's almost as if it happens when we need it most, when the winter has gone on and we feel, will spring ever come? And there it is, this beautiful golden smile of a daffodil, strong and beautiful, bobbing away in the breeze. So take another breath, a good breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And slowly open your eyes. Take another breath. I really enjoyed thinking about that adventure, that growing journey that the daffodil goes on. And now we're going to have a little creative reflection around that journey, about the experience of connecting with that. You may know that the daffodil family name in Latin is Narcissus, and that is relating to the Greek myth about reflection. And we're going to reflect now. We're going to think about and pull together the things that we've experienced in these moments. So the words, the thoughts, the pictures that came to your marvelous brain as we were going on that journey. And we're going to put that down on paper. And you'll see that that will continue to grow even beyond today. That's what our brains do. They continue on that journey. And when we pull together all those kinds of different information, sensory information and imaginative and words and pictures into this integrated type of learning, we get the full nourishment of that experience, and it literally helps us to grow. So we're going to start a sketch now. So you need your art materials, a piece of paper and something to draw with, anything at all. And we're not worried about it being a wonderful drawing. We're not bothered what it looks like. What we're doing is recording the journey. We're recording all of the things that we felt, that we can see. If you've got your daffodil with you, you might want to smell it. If you haven't got hay fever, you might want to smell it and feel it. And you might want to record those feelings that you had during that visualization. So we're just doing a really simple sketch of the daffodil. We're just looking at its basic shapes, how the petals go over and under each other, how they form this beautiful star shape, and the way they might look depending on the angle or depending on how wide they've opened. Some of them are still really tight, aren't they? They're still in that little bud, not quite out of their cocoon jacket yet. And some of them are really wide open. So we carry on, just looking at the shapes of those petals. And don't put yourself under any pressure at this point. You can't do it wrong. We're not expecting wonderful works of art. What we're doing is combining all of these different types of learning to help us really take in the nourishment of this beautiful, beautiful flower. I'm going to show you one up close in case you don't have one there. And I hope you can see this. You can see the trumpet. You can see right deep down into the middle of that. It's kind of green at the bottom. And the little bits that come out from the middle are called stamen. And that's where the bees go. That's what the bees are attracted to when they're going from flower to get pollen. And then we've got this lovely trumpet bit in the middle, which feels kind of rubbery, actually. It's much more robust than the rest of the flower. And it's got this lovely frilly edge. Can you see that? Reminds me of one of those old-fashioned lady skirts, crinoline skirts. It's got lots of gathers and folds and that beautiful frilly edge. And then the petals themselves feel like, almost like velvet, almost if you've ever stroked a rabbit, the softness of their fur, it's almost like that. I almost can't feel it on my fingers. And then at the back, I'm going the wrong way there. At the back, we've got you see this wee bit? It's kind of rustling away. It's almost like tissue paper. It's very, very thin now. But this would have been its little cocoon that it was in before the petals were ready to come out. It would have been safe and sound in there. And now it's so delicate and thin. You can see the stalk as well. I don't know if you can see that easily, but the lines, the grooves that go up the stem are slightly spiral. They don't go straight. I never noticed that before. This lovely bluey green colour. And then at the end is this little layer, almost like an onion, that silky, silky fine layer that you find in an onion. It has the same at the end there. So beautiful, beautiful flower. And of course, as we turn it at different angles, you get very different shapes. There's the sun shining on it there, which it absolutely deserves. Beautiful, isn't it? And you can really see why that bit in the middle is called a trumpet. Actually, as I'm saying that, I'm imagining Louis Armstrong playing a jazz piece to herald spring in one of these daffodils. I wonder what you're thinking of, what it reminds you of. So we're also going to think, you carry on sketching as I'm talking, we're also going to think about the words that might be connected to some of those experiences as we were doing that visualization. So trumpet would be one of my words. I would write trumpet down. Or a crinoline dress, I think I would write down. That's what it made me think of, that curvy, frilly bit around the trumpet. I wonder what it's making you think of. So we're going to start writing those words around your sketch on the same piece of paper. And you can write them in a border around the outside. You could write them in a chain, just wiggling around your daffodil. But be really purposeful about that. Think about what has really resonated with me. Another thing that resonated for me actually was thinking about the damp, rich soil. I could almost smell that as we were thinking about it, the richness of that and the potential in that soil to help things grow. So that would be another word that I would write down, I think. Yeah, absolutely, Samantha. Feels like new beginnings. And that's absolutely what daffodils and other spring flowers help to embody for us, isn't it? That feeling of new growth, that feeling of new energy and starting fresh. It's a lovely way for us to connect with those feelings and those thoughts. So as you do yours, you're using those beautiful sunshiny colours, the bright green, that kind of green that's full of zap and energy, beautiful greeny yellows and golden yellows and orangey yellows. Just really enjoy putting on that colour, writing those words that help you hold on to what that experience of thinking about the growing journey is like for you. Yes, absolutely, Alice. It's a new start. Yeah. So while you're doing that, you just let your hands carry on. Let your hands carry on writing and sketching. I would like to read you a poem, if I may. And this is a very famous poem. It's a poem about a daffodil, and it's really very well known. And it's by a poet called William Wordsworth. And at the beginning, at the start of this poem, he's really feeling isolated and lost and lonely and quite disconnected, a bit like us maybe during this lockdown. And maybe we're still feeling like that. But then in the poem, it turns a corner and he finds himself in the middle of a crowd of daffodils, a community of daffodils. And he expresses the joy of that feeling of connection one to another and with their environment. So I'm just going to read the first verse of this poem. And I invite you just to carry on listening as I read it, carry on sketching and writing, and just let your ears hear and your mind wander. And keep writing down any things that occur to you, any words or thoughts. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high, o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. I'm going to read that again for you. Just allow your mind to float like that bee in and out of these daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high, high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. And even though we're still in lockdown, we can choose to reach out and connect, can't we? Particularly around a common focus, particularly around things that we can look at and experience together, even remotely. It's a great feeling of communion in that when we can do it together. Absolutely, Siobhan. Sunshine, hope, and happiness. So that was just the first verse of that poem. The link should come up on the screen if you would like to see the rest of it. It's a beautiful poem, and it's well worth reading the rest and just drinking it all in, as it were. So do share on the comments if you've got any comment about that poem or about your experience of coming across daffodils, because it is quite a magical, enchanting moment when it's unexpected like that. And that's an exercise that you can repeat with almost anything in nature. The raw materials all around us, isn't it? It's everywhere. And it's a way for us to share rich experience together, even with a computer connection. We can gather around that goodness and the beauty of spring together. So I'm interested in what you might do, whether you might write your own poem about that, about a daffodil and what it's like for you, what it means to you. Or you might buy a bunch of daffodils and watch them slowly opening in a vase on the kitchen table. Or you might find out where there's daffodils growing near you, a host of daffodils, and deliberately take a walk and be amongst them and take some photos. And we're really, really interested to see what you do on your own creative journey with this. And if you'd like to share them on social media, that would be really great to do so. And you can do that using hashtag #EchoHappinessHub. And if you'd like to speak to someone at Echo, or you'd like to find out more about the kind of support they could give, visit their website at echo-uk.org. Next Tuesday, we'll be exploring sound with Anna. And I really hope you can join us then. If you would like to know more about art therapy or about using art in therapeutic ways, you can visit my website at artsoulmind.co.uk. But in the meantime, be kind to yourself. Go out in the sunshine deliberately to drink it all in. Allow the beauty of nature to really enhance your day and enhance your senses. Bring them to life. Come to your senses. It's lovely that we're in this beginning of springtime now, isn't it? That is so full of hope and energy and new growth. As people have said on the comments, lots and lots of comments echoing those kinds of feelings and thoughts. So that's all. Thank you so much for accompanying me today on that journey. It's been great fun. I've really enjoyed it a lot. And I don't think I'll look at daffodils in the same way. I won't just pass them by. They're great to really concentrate on and get the goodness from, aren't they? Okay, take care and stay safe. And we really hope to see you next Tuesday. Bye.